Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Luis Enrique has been added to Manchester United's shortlist. Luis Enrique is the head coach of the Spain national team. He's been in charge of Spain for a few years now. His contract expires later on in the year. Before Luis Enrique managed Barcelona, he won a few trophies when he was Barcelona manager. Before then, he managed Celta Vigo, and before he's managed Roma. Do you think if he got appointed as Manchester United's new manager, do you think he'd transform Manchester United? Now, I want to give you some more news on Mauricio Pochettinho. So, Pochettinho has responded to Manchester United's interest. Pochettinho insists he's 200% focused on PSG, despite Manchester United's interest. Recently, it said Manchester United players want Mauricio Pochettinho as next manager, despite Ralf Rangnick preferring Erik ten Hag. Pochettinho could be sacked by March. That's what reports from France said the other week. And Pochettinho's job hinges on PSG getting to the next round of the Champions League. PSG play Real Madrid in the last 16 of the Champions League. PSG are trying to get Zidane to replace Pochettinho. Earlier on in the season, Pochettinho reportedly told his friends he will be leaving PSG in the summer. Pochettinho's contract at PSG expires next year. He's been manager of PSG for over a year. I think he has won a French Cup with them. He is a good manager, Pochettinho, even though he's hardly won anything. He's proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial because before he endured a 5.5-year managerial tenure with Tottenham. Back in 2018, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final, and at one point he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. I think Tottenham made a bad mistake sacking him. Before Tottenham, he managed Southampton. He only endured a short managerial tenure at Southampton, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. So they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far. And a long time ago, he managed Espanyol. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettinho then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. There's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag get recommended in because they believe that if Ten Hag became Man United's next manager, he would be capable of winning trophies. you've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He has won a couple of titles with them. Revert back to 2019, he got them to the Champions League semi-finals. He's developed the young players well at Ajax. His contract at Ajax expires next year. He's been Ajax manager for over 4 years. Ajax appointed him in back in 2017. Ajax is the 4th club he's managing in his managerial career. Before Ajax, he managed Utrecht, Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then he managed Go Ahead Eagles. Not so long ago, a Dutch reporter claimed that Erik ten Hag will leave Ajax at the end of the season. Following the departure of Mark Overmars, Erik ten Hag was upset when Mark Overmars left. Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager. Since Ferguson, we've sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Manchester United finished 7th under the David Moyes era. Then Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under him. Then Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy 1 good season at Man United because he won 3 trophies in his first season. The 3 trophies he won was the Europa League, the EFL Cup and the Community Shield. But the reasons it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board and he had bad disputes with the top players. And last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after almost 3 years in charge. Solskjaer's final game in charge of Manchester United was the 4-1 defeat to Watford. As you all know, when Solskjaer officially got sacked, he gave a farewell interview and he got emotional in that farewell interview, which of course was understandable because Solskjaer was part of the club for a long time. And he adores the club and he's a club legend and he always will be a legend of the club. Ralf Rangnick, he's been Manchester United's interim manager for around 2 months now. He's Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then Rangnick is expected to continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Manchester United will not offer Rangnick the job on a permanent basis. Rangnick has managed 12 games so far in all competitions and he's lost 2 games so far. He's enjoyed 1 transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Man United enjoyed a very poor January transfer window. Last month Manchester United did not make any signings. And Man United wanted to sign a midfielder because when Ralf Rangnick first came in, he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. We should have let Lingard and Dean Henderson leave last month, but we blocked their exits. We had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of last month. Man United though did loan a few players out last month. We loaned Donny van der Beek out to Everton, we loaned Martial out to Sevilla, we loaned Amad Diallo out to Rangers. Tuan Zebi went out on loan to Napoli, Tiden Mengi went out on loan to Birmingham. Ethan Laird went out on loan, so we let around 8 players leave last month. There's been good performances under Rangnick. There's also been poor performances as well. But reflecting on the poor performances, I'd say Rangnick's totally blameless. You know, I think the players have had to take responsibility for those poor performances. Nothing's changed under Rangnick than what we saw under Solskjaer. I've got a lot of respect for Ralf Rangnick. I think he's a very good coach. He's German. And let me put into the equation, none of this squad is his. You know, Rangnick is inheriting players who other managers have brought in. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. And he also deserves credit because, you know, he has made changes since he's come in. You know, earlier on this season he brought Ewan Sharp in as an assistant coach and analyst. He also recommended Chris Armisen as an assistant coach, and he recommended Saz Chalenzin as a sports psychologist. In the summer, I'm expecting Manchester United to make some signings. There's a lot of players Manchester United have been linked with. We recently went in for Youri Tielemans from Leicester. You know, Declan Rice has been a long-term target for Man United. West Ham want £100 million for Declan Rice. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's worth 100 million. I reckon he's worth in between 60 to 70 million. Jude Bellingham, he's been another long-term target for Man United. Last month, Man United went in for Amadou Haidar from RB Leipzig. At one point we went in for Antonio Rudiger from Chelsea, went in for Frankie de Jong from Ajax. Last month we was relentlessly linked with Denis Zakaria. And on deadline day last month we went in for Yves Bissouma from Brighton. On the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. So in the summer, I reckon Edison Cavani will leave. Earlier on this season, Rangnick revealed that Edison Cavani wants to stay at Man United until the end of the season. He's out of contract at Manchester United in the summer. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Earlier on this season, it said River Plate are considering a summer transfer for Edison Cavani to replace Julian Alvarez. Last year, Cavani was linked with Barcelona. Well, last year it said Cavani agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Because Barcelona were seeing him as a replacement for Aguero, because Aguero retired due to heart problems. Juventus and Boca Juniors also went in for Cavani. Cavani did reject a move to Boca Juniors. Cavani recently played against Burnley. I recall him having one good chance, but apart from that, he was anonymous. He's had a few injuries this season, Cavani, as well. Jesse Lingard, I'm expecting him to leave the club in the summer. Like I said earlier on, Lingard should have left Manchester United last month, but Man United blocked his exit. It was Newcastle and West Ham that were battling it out to get Lingard on loan. Lingard's out of contract at Manchester United in the summer. He's been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy in that, but he doesn't get in the team. Juan Mata, he'll also leave Man United in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer. Mata doesn't get in our team. He lost his place in the team a while ago. Plus he's ageing up and he's lost that yard of pace. But despite all of that, I reckon that Matt has had a good career at Manchester United. Matt has made 276 appearances in all competitions. He's scored around 51 goals. He's been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Manchester United got Matt from Chelsea back in 2014, got him for 37.1 million. Revert back to 2020, Matt rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Cristiano Ronaldo, there's a very good chance that he'll be leaving Manchester United in the summer. Ronaldo is unhappy at Man United. I've been hearing that he's set for showdown talks, Ronaldo, regarding his future. He said earlier on this season that Ronaldo will leave Man United in the summer anyway if they fail to qualify for the Champions League, and it also said that Ronaldo faces a 25% pay cut on his wages should Man United fail to qualify for the Champions League. Not so long ago, it said Man United consider swapping Cristiano Ronaldo for PSG boss Mauricio Pochettinho because Ronaldo's wanted by PSG. Earlier on in the season, Ronaldo gave an interview, didn't he? Like I've updated you so many times, and in the interview he was very critical of the youngsters, so reflecting on that, he was demanding more from the youngsters. And you know, Ronaldo was backing Ralph Rangnick to do a good job at Man United, and he also said, I'm not at Man United to compete for 6th or 7th. He said finishing below 3rd is unacceptable. Ronaldo did not start against Burnley recently. He started on the bench, and Ronaldo was unhappy for not starting against Burnley. He did come on though in the game. I don't think Ronaldo scored in like his last 5, or is it 6 games now? So he's not in form at the moment. Since he re-signed, he's scored 14 goals in all competitions. He's got over 800 goals in his career. Man United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million, with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt. He's under contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives nearly £500,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. He's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Matic, he'll also leave the club in the summer. He's out of contract at Manchester United in the summer. I've always had my reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder. You know, he's ageing up as well. But despite that, he's had his good games at Man United. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, still gets his opportunities. Matic is the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got at the moment. Manchester United got him from Chelsea back in 2017. Man United got him for 40 million. So Matic has been at Man United for over 4 years now. Paul Pogba, it's very likely he'll leave Manchester United in the summer. Paul Pogba's out of contract at Man United in the summer. There again, a few weeks ago, like I updated you on, it said Pogba was willing to stay at Man United as long as Ralph Rangnick is the manager for next season. Because it said Pogba has been impressed by Ralph Rangnick since his arrival, and it did mention that Pogba would be open to signing a new contract. Pogba has played the last 2 games. he's been good, to be fair. He was good against Burnley recently. Pogba scored in that game. That was his first goal of the season, and it was his first Premier League appearance since October. Because don't forget, Pogba was out with injury for a while. He's endured a few injuries since he re-signed for the club, so you can turn around and say he's injury prone. Pogba did well against Middlesbrough in the Cup, you know. Don't forget, he was the one that won the penalty in normal time in that game. This season has been his 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. Pogba, and he's played over 200 games since he re-signed, and Manchester United paid £89 million for him, so reflecting on that, our most expensive signing at the moment. Jones and Bailly, I think they'll also leave the club in the summer. Man United will look to sell Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the summer, because quite clearly they're not good enough to represent the club. And I think we'll offload Dean Henderson in the summer. Like I said earlier on in the video, Dean Henderson should have left last month. Henderson doesn't get in goal much because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that #1 spot back. Henderson has made just 3 appearances this season. He was in goal for the cup game against Middlesbrough not so long ago. Earlier on this season he was out with COVID for a while. As you all know, the Glazers, they're still at Manchester United. You know, the Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 16.5 years. They've been one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time. The Glazers bought Manchester United for $500 million back in 2005. We need to get them out. Don't forget, revert back towards the end of last season, Manchester United fans protested against the Glazers at the Carrington training ground and at Old Trafford because the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. But in the end, the Glazers ended up apologising. Well, that's what Solskjaer mentioned at the time when he was manager. And towards the end of last season, it said the Glazers were only willing to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. Was it at the start of this month? Ed Woodward stepped down. That was good news from a Man United perspective because Woodward was one of the biggest issues at the club. Ed Woodward was at Manchester United for 17 years, wasn't he? Richard Arnold obviously replaced him as the new chief executive. So yeah. Now Manchester United play Southampton at Old Trafford tomorrow lunchtime. It's a 12:30 kick-off. It's a must-win game for Manchester United. You know, we need to keep our top 4 hopes alive. Manchester United are coming into the game against Southampton on the back of a 1-1 draw with Burnley. Southampton, they recently beat Tottenham 3-2. Southampton have got good players, like I've mentioned already. They've got Armando Broja. What a player he is. He'll play in this game tomorrow. Nathan Redmond, he's probably the best player Southampton have got. Nathan Redmond has got an injury at the moment, so that's bad news from a Southampton perspective. James Ward-Prowse, he's a very good midfielder. I highly rate him. Romeu, he's also a very good midfielder. Adam Armstrong, Southampton got him from Blackburn. Stuart Armstrong, they got him. They have Shane Long. Shane Long, don't forget, is a former West Brom player. Che Adams, they've got him. Theo Walcott. Theo Walcott was out on loan, wasn't he, with Everton last season. He's also a former Arsenal player, Theo Walcott. Nathan Tella, he's been out with injury. Valentino Livramento, he's out with injury. He's a defender, Livramento. Kyle Walker-Peters, he's a good defender. Romain Perraud, he's a decent defender. They've got Jan Bednarik, he's a defender. They have Jack Stevens, he's also a defender. The goalkeepers Southampton they've got Alex McCarthy, he's out with injury. Fraser Forster, Caballero and Harry Lewis. So they're the goalkeepers they do have. Let me put into the equation that Southampton have lost a lot of good players. You know, they lost Vestergaard to Leicester. They lost Danny Ings to Aston Villa. They lost Charlie Austin quite a few years ago. Lost Højbjerg to Tottenham. Cedric Soares left them. He went to Arsenal from Southampton. Southampton did have Mina Mimo last season on loan, but obviously now he's gone back to Liverpool. Southampton also lost Ricky Lambert. Other players as well have lost Klein, Van Dijk, Lovren, Lallana, Sadio Mane. Klein, Lovren, Van Dijk, Lallana and Mane all went to Liverpool from Southampton. And like I've said, you know, Liverpool have done very good transfer business with Southampton in the past. And they lost Luke Shaw around 8 years ago to us. Southampton's manager is Ralph Hasenhüttl. He's been Southampton's manager for over 3 years. Southampton appointed Ralph Hasenhüttl back in December 2018. He's got a contract with Southampton till 2024. Hasenhüttl has already said that he will consider retiring when his Southampton contract expires. I tell you when Southampton were very consistent, when they had Mauricio Pochettinho. By the way, I've just heard some news on Alex Telles, and I heard now he's back. So that's good news from a Man United perspective. I thought he was still out. Telles has missed the last couple of games because he's had COVID. So obviously Luke Shaw's played the last couple of games. To be fair, Luke Shaw's done well. But revert back to Telles, I've been very impressed with him under Rangnick. He's our first choice left back under Rangnick. As far as I'm aware, Fred's still out because he recently got tested positive for COVID. I don't rate Fred anyway, not good enough. Bailly's injured, but he doesn't really get in the team anyway. Chon's got an injury. And that's it. And you already know the news on Mason Greenwood. You know, prior to the Burnley game, Mason Greenwood was dropped by Nike after rape allegation. Mason Greenwood is banned from England and Man United, so he can't train or play any matches. The other week, Greenwood was released on bail after his arrest. Greenwood's been arrested twice on suspicion of sexual assault, making threats to kill, rape and assault. So there. But yeah, I think we'll beat Southampton 2-1. That was my score prediction yesterday. You know, Man United won the fixture at Old Trafford last season against Southampton 9-0. That was Manchester United's biggest win since the 9-0 win against Ipswich back in 1995. Manchester United drew away at Southampton earlier on this season. It was 1-1. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.